We're back, boys. Welcome to Sverdlovsk. Happy Wednesday. I guess Thursday if you're watching this on YouTube. Maybe even Friday, depending on what time this ends up getting uploaded. Happy whatever date it is you're watching this on. Can't wait to commit ad-friendly atrocities. Good day. How's it going, Jaden? This is a solid stream going right now. I dig it. So, last video, we took out the Aryan Brotherhood, those crazy LARPers, German simps, and it's a really bad thing to be a German simp right about now, just because, just got back from being microchipped. Hell yeah, did Bill Gates put it in himself, or what was the deal? Which microchip did you get? Moderna, J&J, Pfizer? What'd you get, my friend? But let's see. We beat back the Aryan Brotherhood. We put in the Russian Federative Republic. And now we're just kind of keeping an eye over here. It looks like Tomsk is doing pretty well, which is good, because if they win, I believe we can go and peacefully unify with them, which would be nice. Yeah, Kazakhstan's looking a little interesting. Pretty sure it's not supposed to be quite like that, but what are you gonna do? Holy shit, we have 9 viewers. How's it going, everyone? Not expect to have this many viewers this early, but I'm not complaining. What's the deal with Nova Polska? I believe how it's supposed to work. Nova Polska controls these couple states over here. They establish a puppet state over here, and then they have another puppet state of Kazakhstan. For whatever reason, Kazakhstan spawned at war with Nova Polska, so Nova Polska kicked their ass. And now Nova Polska just owns all of this. Bill and Melinda were both there. It was insane. They gave me a fancy Moderna chip. Ooh, I got the Moderna chip too. Hell yeah. Huh. I'm trying to figure out... Well, first let's go ahead and get a national focus set. So, ladies and gentlemen, democracy is triumphant. Let's go. I went to the same clinic you went to. Ooh, the pharmacy? The one pharmacy? One of the chips I'll get my 5G on my phone. There you go. Boris Yeltsin has finally managed to steer the course of their nation towards democracy, and the Russian Federative Republic has been born anew. With these developments come new challenges, however, such as reintegrating the territory we've recently conquered, as well as expanding our democratic institutions. With half of Russia under our control, we can finally begin realizing a true democracy, and President Yeltsin shall hold a grand speech in celebration. Zaznobzy Nazi. Close enough. We can go ahead and integrate a couple of these places, I know. What do we want to integrate first? We already went on Vologda and Samara. Those are two pretty good ones to start off coring. Oh no, we're losing political power, so we can't really do much right now, can we? There go the Saudis. Get some rifles. Probably get working on... We already have tanks going. Armored personnel carriers might be good, so let's get working on those too. Looks like we need some rubber. We'll go ahead and trade with... We'll trade with Ceylon. Did we get the best event? We did get the Bill Clinton event. I believe that was going to be... That's going to be in the part that's going up today in about 10 minutes, I want to say. Around that. Something like that. So, you guys can look forward to that. I guess this is a little spoiler alerty, because, you know, we're getting right to it, but... An end to wonders. There we go. We really gotta end this fucking political power deficit. Jesus. Let's see what we got. Democracy triumphant. So we can get working on corn a couple places. What'll be good? Perm is a good one to get working on as soon as possible. Utka's not really. Maybe Tatarstan. Let's go working on Tatarstan next. BMP? What do you mean? Can you spear the clusterfuck down the stand? That's a good question. Well, that's strange. We're not getting an option to go into Kazakhstan. And where else do we want to go into? Let's go do a Onega. No, with Vyatka. I meant Vyatka. I saw Vyatka. I meant Vyatka, but I said Onega. I don't know how that works. For whatever reason, I'm not getting an option to go after Kazakhstan. Which is odd. Not quite sure how that works. I guess Poland will live on. Poland is not yet lost. Let's see, what do we want to get working on? There's a lot of good stuff in the West that we could get working on. Beautiful infrastructure. Get working on Tyumen. Look at our industry, boys. God, oh my God! How many full slots do we have? Whew! Maybe we haven't unlocked it yet. Maybe. But usually I think you get the option right off the bat, which is a little concerning. A little bit, but let's get a breath of fresh air. Marshal Patel is no longer a dominant force in our politics. He remains our security minister, true, but he's learned his place in the new democracy, and people will be reminded henceforth. As time passes, the democracy of the Republic will be strengthened at its core, and all memories of military rule shall fade away into irrelevancy. To a new Russia. So, Chad, I gotta ask, because we got a lot of beautiful people here today. How are ya? How are things good? This is due to foobarred Russia before Putin, right? With the storming of the parliament and almost a coup d'etat. Yeah, Yeltsin historically. I'm good to hear. Yeltsin historically, he was the first president right after the Soviet Union fell. He's first elected. His main thing was de-Sovietizing the economy. It's probably not the proper term, but he privatized a lot of stuff. And, it didn't exactly go the best, so a lot of people got kind of fed up with that. He also struggled a lot in real life with alcoholism. There's a kind of funny, a little depressing story about when he went to the, Washington, D.C. to meet up with the president. He got lost somehow, and he wandered off. He ended up walking back to the White House because he was staying there. And he almost wasn't let back in. But then one of the security guards looked at him and was like, wait a minute. That's the president of Russia. Let him in. What the fuck? So that's kind of funny. Also a little depressing that it got that bad. He died back in 2006, I want to say, just because alcoholism is it's nasty. It's a nasty way to go. But right now it's earlier, so it goes a little bit better generally. And that's my basic understanding of everything that happened during the Yeltsin presidency. Then Putin came in. We all kind of know how that's gone. Yeah, Putin's dead. I think they don't want Putin in TNO for whatever reason. I'll start reading some of these events just so we can get onto it. Friends. When I called out for democracy to be brought to Sverdlovsk, I did not expect the outcry of support that was given. I thank you for your voices of loud for a victory against any sort of tyranny. However, a pause as Yeltsin leaned in towards the crowds. The task at hand is more difficult than we thought. Even now, storm clouds of terror and dictatorship gather around the whole country. We cannot allow for them to bring us into an eternal night. I implore you to stay united and stay vigilant. The future of our republic is not in my hands, but yours. Applause rang out as he slowly walked backstage. He'd spent hours traveling, speaking, pleading, hoping. But there was hopefully light at the end of a tunnel. The president's gait shifted from confident to a rare public tiredness, and his photogenic smile faded. A moment of rest, a moment of sleep, and then back to work. His schedule was filled with stops to travel at, and he couldn't waste time, so he regained the mask of jovialness, the gait of an excited dreamer, and walked to the car. Where to next? Where did they say yet? The Putin thing, I believe. A couple devs said that in some of the early Q&As. Granted, that was back when Panzer and all those guys were still part of the mod. I don't know how much things have changed since the new management has come in. Because we've undone stuff like the former canon. That's no longer a thing. Everything else, I'm not quite so I'm not sure about that. It would be Sabin's age, I think, when he did the math, give or take. Okay. That would make sense. Let's get working on that, and let's get the new anti-tank weaponry going. And it looks like Anatoly was used to the sight of his best friend drunk on the streets. However, what he was not used to was a lack of policemen carting him off, usually with a disapproving frown on their faces, and a firm statement uttered from their mouths. Yet here was Alexei yelling from the top of his lungs with no policeman in sight. "Down with Yeltsin!" he chanted drunkenly, grinning and beaming down on the street corner. No policeman came to apprehend the town drunk, despite the occasional stare from a passing citizen, and his rancorous yelling. Even as he yelled about the government, nothing. "Alexei, what are you doing? You've been arrested before." A hand interrupted his concerned invention, going to his lips with a shushing motion. Before. We live in a democracy now. You can do that now. You mean criticizing the government, criticizing what you don't like, criticizing the president. All legal now. You can say what you feel and you won't be arrested for it. Posture check, okay. So I could call the president too drunk. Too drunk? No, too sober. What followed became a blur as Alexei led the young man to the town's bar. Drinks, laughter, insults largely in jest. From the president's height to the broken pencils he had on his desk, in photographs, to the hand he hid behind his tie. Anything and everything in the Republic was open to criticism, and everything was going to be criticized. To Yeltsin, for giving us the freedom to call him whatever we want, Alexei roared, as the patrons followed suit with a laugh, and Anatoly cheered. For a moment the younger man swore he could see tears in the eyes of the elder, but his smile seemed genuine. To thank what we could have been, if we could say what we had wanted before, wept the elder. And that's lovely. We can go ahead and bury the past, it seems. So, before we continue any further, there is a skeleton in the closet we must get rid of. Prime Minister Yevgeny Primakov had connections with the Black League in Omsk. Uh-oh. Nowadays, naturally, he no longer has ties to the group, but there's still evidence that remains which could cause a significant scandal to occur in our recent democracy. With his influence as Prime Minister, Primakov will make sure that the ISB cleanses any documents with his name attached to the League, as well as finding out who knows and who doesn't. Those who do know will be rewarded handsomely for their silence. There we go, make sure we keep things quiet. The coring time is killing me a little bit. Not the coring time. The coring time is fine. The political power hits we're taking. Because we're losing political power right now. My PP game is not getting very big right now. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. A Russian Federation run. That was as Novosibirsk, I believe. The way of the warrior is to be found in dying. Yamamoto Tsunetomo. Uh-oh. It is down to this. Japan done dilly fucked up. Let me see. I do not have the option to go after Kazakhstan, which is very strange. Not quite sure how that works. The ISB agents did not have to ask questions when Primakov began sending small requests, down from the top. Indeed, none did, though if any of them had bothered to look at the whole picture instead of small errands given to different agents with a level of secrecy and the president's private approval over it, they might have noticed there were links. For one, if anyone looked over the pile of documents being phased out and burned, they might have noticed a few ancient letters from one Evgeny Petovranov to Yevgeny Primakov, and pondered, why was a leading member of the All-Russian Black League in contact with one of our government's leading figures years ago? Or perhaps they would question the packages. Yet, packages of cash were being delivered with letters from across the Republic to men and women, from Black League members, a secretary in Primakov's own offices, a mayor, and a few others within multiple branches of the government. More than enough to allow one to start planning for potentially early retirement, and more than enough to hopefully convince them to listen to whatever the notes said. Finally, one might question a corpse out in the middle of the woods, just a short distance from the capital. Fresh, mangled to the point where figuring out who it was would be a near impossibility, with only an unfinished scream etched into what remained of a face, next to the part of wreckage of an automobile. If the dead could talk, they would have much to say. However, no one asked, no one looked, and neither Yevgeny Primakov or Boris Yeltsin ever spoke a word about Envy's strange occurrences to anyone, aside from a small nod in private to each other, and a quick changing of the topics. Some things are best left buried, after all. It was Novosibirsk, which was the Russian Federation run. Fucking Nightbot. I'm gonna have to tweak Nightbot when I get the chance, probably sometime during work, which I have about 57 minutes until that starts, so let's get back to the New Republic. For a significant portion of Russian territory now under our administration, we've come to experience and expect it, but still painful bureaucratic burden to bear. I'm sorry, Foxen. Yeah, I really gotta fix Nightbot. To make this easier on us, we have approached all the former countries which have had strong democratic backgrounds, such as the former Republican Syktyvkar, and discussed with the politicians who have lost their place following the collapse of their country. Their skills will help us integrate our new territories quicker and more efficient. Which one guy did you run with? I ended up going with Shukshin. Shukshin, however you say it. The condom guy. Yeah, Nightbot is PO'd. We could integrate Orenburg. Orenburg isn't actually a bad one to integrate. How about Nizhny Novgorod? Nizhny Novgorod's probably better, though. I think we'll go ahead and get working on Gorky. No, that's other guy. Putin Light is Pokrishkin. That's his name. Uh-oh! God, India, the Far East is not having a good time at all. Look at that. They got the genocide guy. Jesus. But no, Putin Light is Pokrishkin. Shukshin is the actual Democratic guy. What do we want to do? Well, how's everything going along this line? Poverty is going down pretty quickly. Everything else isn't very close, but we're getting to the point where they'll get better eventually. I'd say very better guy. I like Shukshin as a path. I think he's probably one of the best paths for Russia. He's probably one of the best realistic paths, if I had to point one out. Lo and behold, how freedom has come to Russia. We cannot sit idly by and let these institutions develop by themselves, however. The Russian Federative Republic must take an active hand in clearing the path by encouraging each and every citizen to think about what they are participating in, how they participate in it, and for those who are still on the fence, to join us. And we're getting a lot of factories all of a sudden. I like it. There we go. Okay, we're not losing all the political power, we're actually gaining a very slight amount. Which I'll take. God, who's winning there? I can't really tell. It looks about even over here. Ongoing conflicts. 3%. Tomsk is at a slight disadvantage, but it's only slight. Ooh. Right. Let's go work on our academic base. Let's help a dude out. That's tempting. Yeah, we might do that, actually. Free Russia. Let's get to this. Who's to say a man can vote for whoever he chooses if he cannot read, write, or understand the nature of politics? Russia's education system has been on the decline for decades now, but we as a state are responsible for giving the people the tools they need to learn. Funding will be increased across the board, to schools, to teachers, to supplies, all for the sake of a smarter, better Russia. Yeah, I'm thinking you might have to help a brother out, mainly because, well, I don't really have time to fight a whole war today, and I'd like to get this done today, so T to bug. Yeah, I just don't really have time today to go through a whole war, so I'm hoping we can do something more peaceful. And, you know, sorry for cheating, all that good stuff. Tag. Is it Toab? Let's see if I remember it. Oh, I did remember it. Nice. Okay, Tomsk, it's all up to you, buddy. Don't fuck it up. Operation Red Cuck, go. I know, I'm cheating. Who would have expected that from me? It's nothing I've never done that before. Oh man, it looks like there's some mass mutinies going on in the Far Eastern Soviet Republic. What a shame. What a shame there. Sent the link on Snap, mister. Many thanks. Ooh. That's nice. Thank you for sending that. They went... At first they started with the humanists, then they've gone modernists. Let's see. Let's go ahead and do... Throne of Bayonets. Though democracy has finally begun to find its shaky footing in the world of Russia, the military still looms over us like a sword of Damocles, ready for its string to be cut and for it to fall on our republic. President Yeltsin will organize a meeting with Marshal Batov and discuss with him in-depthly about the plan going forward. Both the democratic institutions and the army elements must interact with cooperatively, else there will be even more conflict plaguing us. There we go. Let's go ahead. Let's see, they're about to take... In fact, they just took Irkutsk. Now they gotta head over to this place down there, which the names aren't popping up. There we go. Blagoveshchensk. Let's see, what can we do over here? Let's do some circuit computing. Yeah, look at that. Suspicions of Marshal. No. Pavel Batov, Marshal of West Siberian Republic, stated as he eyed the document before Yeltsin. Absolutely not. While the military appreciates your attempt at reforms, several of these are outlandish or incredibly specific. Yeltsin, President Yeltsin, the man continued to insist, reacted as he usually did to these simple statements. First, he'd grumble and gripe about how the marshal's interference was sabotaging the Republic. Then, after a bit of heated yelling, he'd try to compromise over the papers. Sometimes it worked, usually it did not. Finally, he gave in, and the meeting would end. But not tonight. Tonight Pavel had questions. Why are packages of cash arriving in multiple hands? What are you talking about with Primakov? What is the ISB doing? For a moment, Batal Boris's eyes widened before his demeanor becomes cool. I don't know what you're talking about. Just because I'm having a few meals with a friend doesn't mean we're talking about anything suspicious. Just a few sporting events, a few books, a few personal chats. As for the ISB, their activities are classified. What's this about packages? Pavel stared before a few minutes passed. Good night, Yeltsin. He practically spat before leaving the room for the evening. He was right about one thing. There was no proof to any suspicions. However, his response... He's in on it. Whatever it is. Lose political power, gain some army experience. Uh-oh. Let's get the saviors of Russia. Democracy cannot be defended by goodwill alone. It demands protection, and protection it will get in the form of our brave men serving in the military. The Republic will launch a propaganda program to encourage more people to join the army, and to be more receptive towards the idea that we shall eventually march to war, once again, anything, towards anyone who stands in the way of reunifying all Russian peoples. There we go. Our political powers, and the whole, that's not nice at all, but... it is what it is. We'll get there eventually. Uh-oh. Right. Africa is not doing too hot right now. A decrease in poverty. A toast to our economists. 25 to 50% poverty rates. I will take that. That is very, very nice. And what do we got from here? Let's go ahead and get working on reintegrating the West. The territories of Western Russia are not as tightly connected to our government as the territories we have initially expanded into. This problem must be rectified quickly. Every village, town, and region shall be incorporated into the Russian Federal Republic. It's only a matter of time of when, not if. So we'll go ahead and do... We'll prepare an offensive line. I hope it's not going to be necessary. Like, these guys got some army units, but they're getting pushed back pretty quickly. I'm telling you, man, these mass mutinies, I don't know what to tell you. We can get working on, I think civilian construction would be pretty dope. Let's get civilian construction going. How's our economy looking? We got a bit of a deficit. Running an economy is hard. What do you expect, I guess? We'll get sweeping privatization, 10% consumer goods factories. Usually I cringe at that, but I think we're actually doing pretty fine, so I don't think we need that necessarily. So let's do it. Much of our economy remains in the hands of a state. Why should it? Though we hold benevolent intentions, we cannot micromanage everything that goes in on our sightlines. A program of privatization shall begin. The shrewd men of Russia will take the fate of our businesses into their hands and mold out of them prosperity. There we go. There we go. God, he's doing the Yeltsin. Yep, do the Yeltsin. Do the Yeltsin. I don't know if that's a song, but it should be. We got some nice stuff going on in Perm. Arkhangelsk is always a good one to get working on industry in. Same with Nizhny Novgorod. Samara is kind of tragically underdeveloped infrastructure-wise. It's only for 365 days, I think. And, we'll ease off on that. Let's placate the military. The military can't keep standing on their feet waiting for us to give them some sort of treat. To some extent, we'll have to appease them in order to keep our republic very influenced by and loyalty in check. The Republic thankfully has some extra funding that it can funnel into developing new military technology. Whatever it is, it will have a double-sided effect of helping improve our army as well as making them happier. Oh, Kipsu, I am planning on doing Kaiserreich, actually, yeah. Not quite sure what yet. Which nation? Jason, how's it going? How's it going, partner? Keep the military. Let's go ahead and feed the beast. Russia cannot ever be unified if our army is composed of rabble-rousers and men who run at the first sight of combat. The military requires the best it can get and shall definitely get the money it needs to invest in the new training techniques and ways to push our soldiers forward into the modern age of warfare, for the defense of the nation, for the defense of the people. Oh, people do not want words. They want the sound of battle. The Battle of Destiny. Goring won. Not Goring. Bormann won. I'm used to either Bormann or Goring winning, so that's why I said Goring. But yeah. Kaiser Redux. I want to ease back into other mods. So Kaiser Redux. It seems interesting, but also seems a bit too wacky. I want to get myself into something a little bit more grounded. Ease back into other Hoi 4 mods, and then get into maybe some of the wackier ones. Give them a shot. And that's my thing. Right, isn't that one of the name leaders in Modroom is named Goring? Is that one of the Greens, I want to say? I'm trying to pay attention to German politics, because I think it's kind of interesting. I know the Greens are doing strangely well over in Germany, which I think is interesting. Yeah, the Greens. Let's do economic shock therapy. The process is not going fast enough. Boris Yeltsin, encouraged by members of business elites, has developed a new way of thinking, however. If the state can be pushed hard into radical reform, ending price controls, opening up trade and foreign investment, prioritizing state-owned enterprises, if such radical reforms can be enacted, we can reform our economy out of its communist torpor. There will be pushback, of course, obstinacy from bureaucrats of aid from losing their cushy jobs. The rationale is that this will be the sharp change necessary to change Russia's economy for the better in the future, and doing so now will avoid the greater damages later. Some may suffer from the upheaval, but they will be given their deserved share of wealth and time, as will all citizens of Russia. Greens do well in all Northern Europe, but by far best in Germany. Yeah, because, I mean, over here, the Greens are pretty much just a protest vote. The Greens are a protest vote for left-wing people who don't like the Democrats. That's pretty much it. Or who want to throw, all the protest votes. That they usually, more right-wing people throw away their votes for libertarians. More left-wing people, more often than not, might protest for the Greens. There are some people who just like the policies better, but usually that's kind of how it goes. Goring's great niece lives in Santa Fe. Really? That's interesting. So it's always interesting when I hear different parties do well differently abroad. Now let's go back to Washington. Our friends in the United States of America share ideals similar to ours. In fact, they are hailed as the leaders of the free world, and rightfully so. There is much we can learn from the Americas, so Boris Yeltsin has organized a direct visit to Washington in order to foster good relations. May it end well. Fingers crossed. But yeah, Kipsu. I am, going to be passing through Mormon territory. Good old Mormon country in, middle of June, which I think will be interesting. Biggest party here is the former Commie Party and its bad guys in Kaiserreich. Labor? Is that who you're talking about? Yeah, okay. Man, I know a bit more about politics. I'm passing through Utah, just on layover, sadly, but I am passing through. Let's go ahead and rise from the ashes. The economy has been given the shock treatment it has needed ever since the times of the communists and the militarists. Likewise, the military's lust for power has been satiated, and we're beginning to reform into a proper fighting force. The ideals of democracy are spreading slowly and surely in the lands that the Republic controls. In the end, Russia will be the phoenix reborn, soaring across superpowers with only power, pride, and democracy to show. Let the Russian Federative Republic live forevermore. There we go. Main airport, so Salt Lake. I'm hoping to, I was hoping to pass through Zion, because I know that's a beautiful place, but, do a road trip out of there, but so far it's just not working, you know, don't have many friends who are free this summer because of work and all that, and, you know, it's not the best idea to just drive out there on your own with no backup. Rise from the ashes, so here we go. But, let's integrate Orenburg next. Head to Logan when you drop into Salt Lake. I'm only going to be there for an hour and so, unless the layover really gets delayed. But, if I end up getting stuck there for a couple days, I'll let you know. I will let you know. So we'll just do nuclear stuff now. It doesn't matter too much. In the dim hours of night, Boris sat at his desk. The politicians, the staffers, the janitors, pretty much everyone had left this wing of the building. In the dark hour, in this moment as mothers called their children to bed, as drunks criticized him in bars and nightly radio shows, kept bickering and joking, he sat there at his desk privately. Alone. Was it wrong to have ambitions, dreams? He saw the way Beethoven looked at him, along with other doubters. Every single critic had something to say about the way he conducted himself, or his ideals, or his act before the press. But he'd come all the way from being a political dissident to becoming the president. And now they were on the path to bring back Russia. Privately, they were right. He did want to become the savior of Russia. He wanted to bring her back from the brink, to nourish her, to make her strong and firm, and yet he did want the praise. He wanted his face to be in textbooks. He wanted parents to tell their children how he'd brought Russia back from the brink, and he wanted to outshine Lenin, Bukharin, and the Tsars. Was it so wrong to want a legacy? To want this as his legacy? Russia called, and he was answering. It wasn't greedy or overly self-centered. Any man or woman would want the joyous screams of millions, or the happy smiles of war-weary veterans at peace, or the horrors of the past replaced with hope. He could give them that. He would give them that. Perhaps they were just jealous, or he thought he couldn't do it. Boris Yeltsin sighed once before taking a single brief look out the window. He'd prove them wrong. He'd had to. Literally on the other side of a mountain near Salt Lake. Oh, damn! Yeah, I've been meaning to visit Utah, because I think Utah seems like an interesting place. I haven't been around the U.S. that much, and I've been meaning to change that. I mean, I'm going to Idaho in the middle of June, because I got family over there. I'm meaning to head over to Florida. I got a buddy who's moving over to Grand Junction, so the western part of Colorado. So I was talking with him, saying, like, once he moves out, we could have a little road trip across Colorado, hang into which part of Idaho? The Panhandle. The Panhandle part of Idaho. Up near Montana. In fact, I'm flying into Montana, because it's going to be closer to flying there than it is to flying to Boise. Losing political power. Yeah, good luck with that, guys. Good luck with that. Florida men? My grandpa sorta won, I guess. I mean, he moved to Florida, what? My freshman year, I want to say, of high school? Georgia's better than Florida. Oh, I don't have family in Georgia, so I don't want to go to Georgia. Well, that's not true. I want to go to Georgia. That'd be cool to go to. I just don't want to go now. I think we'll go ahead. We'll do a... Let's do that real quick just to push it along. And hopefully we'll be able to begin some peaceful talks of unification. And you know what they say about pride and falling? The poverty rate, it went down a little bit, not too badly. The improvement rate went down. We'll do a foundation for research. But yeah, I was talking about visiting my buddy in Colorado once he's all moved over. Because I'm not doing too much. I'm basically taking a gap semester while still taking classes so I can keep my job over at my college. And so I'm going to have a lot of free time, relatively. Equestria War is hands down one of the best mods to play. You know, I'm going to play Equestria eventually. I'm going to be confused as hell. But I'm going to play it. What do I want to build? Where do I want to build? Might be a better question. Below would be good. I played American football. Really? Foxen, you played American football. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Huh. That's interesting. The more you know. Let's see if I go ahead and take the capital. Because I'd like to go ahead and just deal with things peacefully. Foundation for research. There we go. We can begin unification talks, luckily. There we go. Advanced artillery. Let's get improving up to advanced artillery. Free civilian factories. We're building... Look, Castroma has a lot of free slots, actually. Let's build some stuff in Castroma. Friends would play for colleges. I was even their captain. If it was a bit better, I would play at the Cowboys NFL Stadium. Damn, man, that's cool, actually. Let's begin unification talks. Man, that shit is dope, man. I like that. That's a fun little fact I did not know about you. So we got a... I just gotta wait. Oh, there we go. Okay. Dismiss. So that's the end of this part.